District to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brack and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman, one radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. Sports Xtra. On a Tuesday. Keeping you informed.
We have 10 district 9.
Sports Xtra Cayman Islands.
A young team full of talent, full of desire to do good things.
We've had some success with the outdoor league being restarted.
Alrighty, good evening and welcome to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dionne Anglin. Tonight, we will be chatting with a few important people, and I have two very important people in my studio at the moment, and I will allow them to introduce themselves and their titles. Go right ahead.
Hi, I'm Dale Davis, a promoter with the FAC Caribbean.
Awesome.
Hi, and I'm Cindy Joe, first-time competitor at this year's figure competition.
All right, awesome. I like that. And that was a fantastic show. We're going to get all into that and find out how it went and hear about your experience, all right, for the first time. Okay, coming up next, we will be speaking with Mr. Don Kalu, and he's the president of the Cayman Islands Badminton Association or Badminton Club, and we'll be discussing the Open Badminton Tournament that's coming up this Sunday. Also, we'll hear from Mrs. Wanda Bodden. She's the founder of the Bringing Back the Glory Youth Basketball Tournament in Port Arthur, Texas. She's visiting the Cayman Islands for the NCAA Division I basketball tournament that's being held here at the John Gray High School gym, right? The Cayman Islands Classic. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more Sports Extra in a minute. Stay tuned.
Find out about all the community happenings from non-profit, community fundraisers, church events, and more with Radio Cayman's Community Bulletin Board 3 times daily. Don't be the one to miss out on the latest information for events taking place every day on all 3 islands. Radio Cayman's Bulletin Board, brought to you by UCCI. Visit www.ucci.edu.ky. Choose your dream and blaze your trail today.
And by GNC, conveniently located in Queens Court, 7 Mile Beach, and Country Corner. GNC, more than sports, all fitness, mind, and body.
You know what I love to do with my family? Go fishing. I can put the bait on and cast and reel the line all by myself. My mommy and daddy say when they were little, there were plenty more fish to catch, but now there are lots more people fishing, so it's harder to find them. That's why we have marine parks now. They set some areas aside so the fish there can have babies and grow bigger. Then they swim out to other areas where I can catch them. Having the marine parks means there will still be fish there when I'm grown up and fishing with a family of my own.
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
Health Services Authority is now offering online payment options for patients. Patients of HSA can now pay their bills, including deposits, towards scheduled services online at payments.hsa.ky. The secure, new online payment system accepts debit or credit cards and is in addition to the available payment options of cash, check, and online bank transfer. For quick, easy, and secure payment directly from your phone or computer, visit HSA's new online payment system at payments.hsa.ky.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. Good evening to all of you tuned in tonight, and thank you very much. Tonight we're here with Mr. Dale Davis and Miss Cindy Joe. And Cindy recently competed in the DFAC, Drug Free Athletes Coalition bodybuilding competition. Am I correct?
World Finals.
World Finals. That was very exciting. And Mr. Dale, you were the judge in that competition.
One of
the many judges. So the bodybuilding fans turned out in numbers on Saturday, November 5th to support their fellow gym members, with almost 50 athletes competing at the inaugural Drug-Free Athletes Coalition World Finals, including 20 local athletes, you'd say?
24, I believe.
24, awesome. This was the final event on the year's calendar for the DFAC, with international athletes from Australia, Germany, Switzerland, the UK, the US, Denmark, and of course, the Cayman Islands. All right, so we're going to ask you, Mr. Dale, if you for those who did not get a chance to make it out to that tournament 3 weeks ago, tell us, in your view, how did the competition go?
Yeah, thanks, Dionne. It was great competition. I mean, it's probably not the largest worlds that we've had over the years, simply because of the travel restrictions that some of the teams have encountered, and some of the financial challenges, especially with the UK athletes and the pound doing that little bobble the other day. But despite those challenges, it was great quality in the show, and that's one of the hallmarks of a great event, especially in bodybuilding fitness. You want to make sure that your athletes are truly representative of what you're looking for in terms of the quality of the physiques. You want athletes in great shape, great condition, lots of muscle, great presentation.
Lots of muscle.
That's what makes the show. Yeah. So overall, it was very well attended. I think at last count, there was probably close to 500.
It was
people that ended
packed. I loved it. It was good to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was that like our biggest tournament, you think, right after COVID? I would think we had the volleyball. The volleyball tournament was after. The beach volleyball tournament was after.
Yeah,
that. But I would.
It's one of the largest sporting events that I would say that we've had since COVID.
Have we? We've never held that tournament before.
No.
So based on how it went, what are they saying? Did they like it? Do they want to come back, have it here again sometime, or does it interchange with different countries?
Yeah. So there was, there was really good feedback, not just from the heads of the organization, but from the athletes as well. Because what we did the day after is we took most of the international athletes out to Stingray City. So we did the whole Stingray City, Rum Point, Starfish Point tour, and it was a bit unsettling for some of the Australians because Steve Irwin kept coming up, right? It's like, and I know these guys are fine. You won't get stung by these guys,
right?
But in generally speaking, the thing that the resounding theme from everyone was Cayman hospitality, the experience in Cayman, and that's important because that's what really will bring people in, and that's what will allow people to become return visitors, right? People who want to come back for a wedding or vacation, and so on and so forth. Will it be held here again? It's possible. It moves on to Australia next year, but we have been talking about sort of establishing a rotation, and having Cayman within that rotation as well.
Awesome.
So Australia next year is probably going to be somewhere in Europe next year. The year after 2024, and it may come back here for 2025 potentially.
Okay, awesome. And Cindy, this was your first time competing. What was that like for you? And what category did you compete in?
I was in women's figure.
Okay.
And was the only masters competitor.
Okay.
So then had to compete in the open.
Okay. And you won that category as well?
I won the Masters.
You won the Masters. Okay, all right.
But no, I placed third in the Open.
You placed third in the Open. What happened, Dale? Why did she place third? What's going on here?
Cindy did really, really good, actually. It was a stacked lineup, and that's what I mean by the quality of athletes.
Yes.
No one was, as we would say, off, right? Everyone was in shape. And for her first show, and I told her this afterwards, for her first show, you couldn't tell that was her first show.
Right.
Right, her stage presentation, her poise, and she was in shape, right?
Yeah.
So no one who did not know would have drawn the conclusion that this was literally her first episode, because it didn't show. She did well. She did herself proud. She did us proud.
Usually when we women go to these shows, we look at the men and we're like, okay, yes, bring it on. But I have to say, the women looked amazing. You all looked amazing on stage. You looked fit. The muscle tone, everything. I'm not sure what the judges were looking for. All I know is that you all looked fantastic, and I'm very proud to say a woman went up there and represented.
Yes.
Yeah. What did it take to get ready for a competition of this magnitude?
I started training in April.
Okay.
Really to get back into shape. I had a lot of fun from November to April. A lot of guests, and just I think indulged a little bit too much.
Okay.
So really went back to the gym in April. I trained with Robert Thompson, who then kind of convinced me, why not? And it's something I've been wanting to do since I was very young. So really couldn't make any more excuses. Thought that I wouldn't be traveling as much for work. And so, thought, well, I'll be here in Cayman. Sure, I can train. And then ended up having to do like 4 work trips right before the competition, which was a bit of a challenge. But it was exciting to train for. I definitely enjoyed training and preparing more than I did getting on stage. So it's great that people couldn't tell I was a first time, but I certainly knew.
You know what I didn't like? The women were in bikinis, but the men had on their vests and stuff. I mean, some people.
I just think they should have to wear shoes.
And they should be wearing the, Okay, I wouldn't go there. All right. And Dale's looking at me like, no. See? Yeah, see, he agrees with me. Yeah, the production team agrees with me. All right, so we were talking a little bit about the different categories. You care to share the different categories that represented this year?
Okay, so in the men's categories, we had men's bodybuilding, and there were different weight classes, lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight, and we had men's athletic. Okay. And in women's classes, we had women's bodybuilding, women's figure, and bikini.
Okay.
And within those classes, there were some professional athletes and some amateur athletes.
Okay, awesome. And you were a judge, one of the many judges. Tell me something. What exactly are the judges looking at? And are they looking at the same thing for each category? Is something different in every other category?
The criteria is pretty strict and it's pretty clear for each class.
Okay.
And so last year when we had the show, in the program, we placed some pictures of the athletes with a bit of a write-up of the criteria. We didn't do it this year. We didn't think maybe it was necessary, but I guess maybe next year we'll do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's completely different from class to class.
Okay.
In some classes, we look for more muscularity, more conditioning in layman's terms, cuts, right? And in some classes, we look for less than that. So in bikini, for example, you're looking for balance. You want to have great symmetry top to bottom, so you're evenly balanced in terms of weight distribution or muscularity top to bottom, side to side, front to back. And that goes for all classes.
Okay.
But not too much muscle, not too much conditioning, not too much cuts. Whereas in figure, you're looking for a lot of that criteria, but you're looking for more muscle, more definition, more cuts in figure. And then for bodybuilding, well, it's everything, right? So extremes of everything, extreme conditioning, extreme muscularity, and so on and so forth. And so that's generally the buckets of criteria we look for, and it just varies from class to class.
Okay. So for the women, I know there was a particular class that I just don't remember. Is pro-am something?
Okay, so that might have been bikini then, which was a pro-am class.
Okay, and Annalisa Wallace placed 3rd.
No.
Fifth. Mm-hmm. Why?
So so what separated all of the competitors really was, so your top 3, they were very evenly comparable, meaning they had a similar level of conditioning.
Right.
What separated your top 2 was they have very similar structures.
Right.
So you're looking for that exaggerated taper, that V taper, wide shoulders, very tiny waist, right?
Right.
Great legs and whatnot, and that balance. And what separated your top 2 essentially was the winner of that class was essentially a bigger version of second place, right? But with all the conditioning, with all the presence, with all the shape and symmetry and everything else. For number 5 and down, so there's a lot of potential for those athletes, and this being one of them, because the structure is there, right? But what's needed at that level is a bit more conditioning.
Right.
So, and as a taller athlete, there's a lot more room to fill in
Okay.
Yeah. So the taller you are, the more muscle it's going to take to fill that frame
Right.
out and add that
Yes.
exaggerated shape that I'm talking about as well.
I'm not sure where she got that height from.
Right?
It came out of nowhere. I didn't
Yeah.
make her out. I was like, what?
Yeah. So the structure's there. She's a very good athlete, very great shape and whatnot. But again, at that level, the conditioning, the level of muscularity has to be there as well.
On that night, were there at any point you saw that there were some athletes not in the right categories?
The only class where that is a challenge is the men's athletic class.
Oh, okay.
And I think a lot of people struggle with that class because the best looking bodybuilder will not win that class because it's not meant for bodybuilders.
Right.
And so let me just take a minute for that. Men's athletic is designed, and the same applies to women's athletic, to feature an athlete with a structure that looks more athletic, so like a track and field athlete or a CrossFit athlete or whatnot.
Okay.
So one of the key things we're not looking for is that exaggerated taper, that tiny waist, broad shoulders, whatnot, which is what you would see in a bodybuilder, right? That X frame, as we call it. And the reason we do that is not everyone has that natural shape and structure anyway. And we judge strictly to that criteria because if we don't, a bodybuilder will win that class every single day, right? So you had guys in the class who looked really, really good, but they were bodybuilders.
Right.
Yeah, so we have to judge by the criteria of the class because if we were to go based on personal preference, again, we would choose the bodybuilder, the guy who's in the best shape, the smallest waist and the most muscle, but that's not what the class calls for.
Okay, understood. Got you. And Cindy, going to you now, what was the most important aspect of training for you, and how important was nutrition for you going into this tournament?
Huge.
Yeah.
I think that the eating part was my favorite part, really. I learned a lot about food. Counting macros really was a bit of a game for me.
Right.
But I really did enjoy that part of it. I got guidance on kind of my macros, my meals, but ultimately, did a lot of that design myself and just plugged it in, did the meal prep, knew what I could have, what I couldn't have, and knew it was for a limited time, right? It was just working towards that goal, and it was pretty hard when I was traveling.
Right.
I packed my food, took it with me frozen, ate protein bars in the washroom, but still counted everything.
Sounds like torture.
No, it really wasn't.
For me.
But yeah, it's for a limited time. For a limited time.
I have to say though, Cindy's pretty humble about that. But I can tell you, as someone who's competed in the pro ranks, what she has accomplished is no small feat. Yeah. To be traveling your first show.
Yeah.
So remember, you know nothing about your body in your first show, right? You're still learning.
True.
But to show up in your first show in shape, traveling and still maintaining your regimen, that is no small feat. I gotta tell you, you did good.
Thank you.
Awesomeness. I like that. I like hearing that. And I know when I interviewed you before the show, you were talking about posing and that it's an art and it's not as easy as it seems.
No.
Can you care to share before we head out?
Yeah, so posing is the hardest part, really. And to the layman, to the audience, they probably don't see that, but the guys who and ladies who compete on stage, they understand that. But the rule is, and I should say the mantra is, and my athletes would have heard it from me, if the judges can't see it, it doesn't exist.
Okay.
So what we do in posing is teach you how to maximize the muscle that you have on your frame, right? And how to present that muscle, how to present your physique, how to present the best parts of your physique, because we all have weaknesses, right? So how do you hide those weaknesses and present yourself in the best possible light and remember what it feels like, not looks like, which is important.
Okay.
So it's pretty intense to develop that level of stage conditioning, to control the breathing, to hold the muscles, hold the poses for a prolonged period of time, and especially if you're on stage for a spell and you're constantly going through the poses, through the comparisons, it's pretty intense.
Awesome. I enjoyed myself. Thank you both so much for coming on the show. Is there anything, is there any other competition that you guys are going to be competing in, maybe individually? I know, what's his name? Is it
Robert?
Robert? He recently competed internationally somewhere.
Yeah, he went off to Las Vegas.
Vegas, yeah. And he did pretty well.
He actually won the amateur class over there as well. So he's got another world title.
That guy wasn't there.
Two-time pro.
Yeah, exactly.
Two-time pro.
What's his name? The guy that beat him here? He wasn't there.
No,
No, yeah.
no. Nate is relaxed.
Nate had the crowd.
He's gonna relax.
Everybody
until
wanted
next
his
year.
hat when he was throwing it in. Guys, thank you so much. Is there anything that I have forgotten to ask you that maybe you would like to get out there to the public?
Yeah, I mean, just generally speaking, we're proud of our Cayman athletes. We had our largest contingent to date, and our athletes did as well as a country, and they did themselves well. Everyone turned up, everyone showed up, they stuck with it, they did well. So we're proud of our athletes, and look forward to Australia 2023.
Awesome. Cindy?
I think that if you are interested, talk to people. It was a wonderful experience. So important for mental health for people to, get active and stay fit. And that's something that really helped me through some stressful times. So I would encourage people to, really try to explore it. Maybe not for a competition, but only if just for their own health.
And how can they get in touch with you?
You can find us at DFAC Caribbean on Instagram and on Facebook.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you all so much, Mr. Dale Davis, Cindy Joe. Appreciate you stopping by. Coming up next, we have Mr. Dionne Kalu, president of the Cayman Islands Badminton Club. Stay tuned with more Sports Extra. We'll be right back.
After more than 20 years, the Cayman Islands Air Show is back. It's all eyes to the sky on Saturday, December 3rd for a thrilling air show on 7 Mile Public Beach. Witness amazing aerobatic maneuvers as world-class pilots put on a stunning show. Then see the planes and meet the aviators at the Island Air Hangar. Parking permitted at designated sites with free shuttle buses to the events. For all the details and event lineup, visit CaymanAirShow.com. The Cayman Islands Air Show returns Saturday, December 3rd, 10 a.m. at 7 Mile Public Beach and 3 p.m. at the Island Air Hangar.
The Business Buzz. Each and every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 7:30 a.m. Brought to you by
Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
RC Fusion. Monday to Thursday.
10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Fridays. Radio Cayman. Biggest variety in the morning. Biggest variety. RC Fusion. Following the 10 a.m. news headline. Biggest variety in the morning.
The Department of Agriculture would like to advise the public that appointments for Christmas abattoir services should be scheduled by November 30th. This can be done at the main office reception desk on Lottery Road, Bodden Town. To learn more about the DOA abattoir services, required information, and delivery dates, visit the Department of Agriculture on Facebook and Instagram or call 947-3090.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
All right, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. In the studio with me now is Mr. Dionne Kalu. He's the president of the Cayman Islands Badminton Club. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Diane, and thanks very much for having me.
You're very welcome. How are you doing today?
Oh, I've just struggled with the traffic.
Yeah,
I made
know.
it there
It was
in
hectic.
time.
It was pretty hectic. But it's that Christmas season, right?
Indeed.
Where there are more cars in the road than people. All right.
Indeed.
Yeah, indeed. So the Cayman Islands Badminton Club is hosting an open badminton tournament that's this Sunday coming. And I know you guys have singles teams, doubles teams, and mixed doubles teams that will be competing for a very big prize. And that's going to be held at the Clifton Hunter High School in Northside, and it starts at 10 a.m. I think I just told everything. You probably don't need to say anything else. I just said everything.
Thank you for that.
Tell us a little bit about the tournament, Mr. Kalu, that's coming up this Sunday. What can fans expect this Sunday?
Well, first of all, before I do that, and I will, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity for being here, and I certainly hope I can offer something positive and meaningful to your program and to the sport of badminton.
Okay, awesome.
Having said that, so we're hosting this tournament. It's first of a kind for badminton here within these islands, first open tournament. Also post-COVID. We're hoping it will be a huge success. We're actively seeking to find the champion of Cayman Islands and hope to use that as a stepping stone to encourage younger members of the community to take up the sport, and so we could take our rightful place on the world stage, hopefully, eventually. Badminton is also an Olympic sport.
Right.
And so we need to be ready, and this will be the start.
And you mentioned getting more youth involved in the sport, and I would love to ask you, with badminton, not being as popular in Cayman as it should be as a sport, on the sports scene, as rugby, football, or maybe basketball, how do you go about getting younger athletes attracted to the sport?
Well, this is a huge challenge.
Yeah.
As you just mentioned, there are many sports. This region in particular is also geared towards track and field. And so now we're getting into the schools. We've started that. And we're hoping to encourage young Caymanians to take part in badminton and so we could have a team for the future. And as I said, to take our rightful place.
Right.
Both locally in our region and also on the world stage.
Speak to me a little bit about the world stage and how far we've competed. What are our accomplishments in badminton?
Well, badminton has always been played here in the Cayman Islands. Unfortunately, it fell off the radar for a short time, and then we went into the COVID pandemic. So now we need to revive the sport and also to have the structure for badminton. Being registered as an NPO, non-profit, selected people like myself to be president of the association, and really getting ready to bring the sport to the next level.
Do you mind fitting the headset directly on your head so you don't have to hold it? I don't want you to hold it the whole time. So put it on top of your head. Yeah.
How's that?
Turn it over. Yeah.
Like that?
This part here, can you flip it over? Yeah. I don't want to spend the majority of the show, but I want you to because I don't want you to block that side with the camera, right?
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. So give us a few names of some of the badminton players that we have here in Cayman, and so the people that are listening can familiarize themselves with who plays the sport of badminton here in the Cayman Islands.
Well, we have veteran members. I'll refer to them as veteran members. I don't want
They've been in it for quite a while.
Yeah. And we also have youngsters.
Okay.
I'd like to speak about one in particular, Mr. Priestley, who started with us as a youngster, barely a teenager. One of our star players. He's actually traveling from the UK, where he's presently studying, and coming to enter into this competition.
Okay.
So I could mention people such as Ray Banker.
Yes.
Is well known in this community. He'll be competing, and a few other names. We will also be having the president from the Squash Association, would actually be teaming up with myself, and we're
Miss Janet?
Miss Janet.
Okay, all right. All right.
You know.
Well, I'll be there.
Okay.
I will be.
You will be there.
Literally.
We invited you, yeah. And so there is a fun element to it, but also there is a serious side because we need to be ready to compete internationally.
Okay. And how do we do that? How do you I guess with all these tournaments that you're preparing, is there going to be another one that's going to be held? What's going to fall from this tournament?
Well, it will be an annual event.
Okay.
And also in addition to that, we are creating a perpetual cup.
Okay.
So there's also an historical event, and all winners of these tournaments will be engraved on this cup, and we're hoping it will be something that could be referred to in the future, and especially as we've just gone through COVID.
Right.
In the future, future players could see who were winning such competition back in those days.
Yeah, awesome. So is there, before we head out, is there anything about the tournament coming up that you would like fans to, to know maybe some of the prizes? Tell us about some of the prizes that you guys will be winning.
Well, yes, there will be cash prizes, and these will be supported by other complimentary prizes. As you mentioned before, on offer will be men's doubles, men and females doubles, singles, and I'd like to take this opportunity to invite the general public to come along on Sunday and to support us, see what the Cayman has to offer in terms of badminton, and to encourage our players to move on to the next step.
How many badminton clubs are there in Cayman?
Well, sadly, there is only one badminton club. But as I said before, we've now ventured into the schools, and this is a huge challenge. However, as president, I'm motivated to carry this out, and we need to get into more schools.
Yeah.
And we need to create a framework in which we can even eventually have a Cayman League.
Okay. How many schools and what are the schools you're in?
So presently we are in the two main high schools.
Okay.
So that would be Clifton Hunter High School, which is where this tournament is being hosted on Sunday.
Okay.
And also in the John Gray High School. We do have a few challenges there in John Gray, and we're not making as much progress.
Why is that?
Well, the first challenge is the courts, the badminton courts in John Gray High School are incomplete, sadly to say.
Oh, okay.
And I'm hoping that someone in authority will be listening in and to realize that this is something that we need to address.
What about it is incomplete?
When I say incomplete, the lines for the courts are incomplete. So in some cases, 50% incomplete. So we're unable to coach badminton in.
So is it something that they did not finish, or is that a different level of badminton they drew on the court?
Well, it's difficult to answer. As I said before, badminton sort of fell off the radar.
Okay.
So I think maybe they thought, no one will be using these courts anyway. We'd like to change that.
But then they started with lines. There are badminton lines.
There are badminton lines, approximately 50%. So it's very difficult to explain what took place.
Okay, so they just didn't finish it.
They didn't finish.
Okay, all right. Okay, got you.
So we're hoping.
Here's your chance to plead to government or to whoever else is out there to help with completing those lines.
Yes, and our plea is earnest, and we're hoping someone in authority is listening, and if they wish to speak to the Badminton Association, I don't know if I'm allowed to put my number out there.
Of course, you can if you would like to do that.
I would love to do that. So we can be reached at 927 7890.
And any social media outlets?
Yes, we are present on all popular social media, for example, and Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, of course. And you can reach us by simply typing in Cayman Badminton Association.
Awesome. And tell the people of the Cayman Islands why they should come out to the Clifton Hunter High School this Sunday to support the Open Tournament.
Okay, many reasons for that. First of all, it is a family-orientated event.
Yes.
There will be refreshments and food of different nature. And as we said before, badminton can be a fun event.
Right.
Of course, it has a serious side, and I'm sure there'll be lots of entertainment, lots to eat and drink, and we look forward to seeing the general public there in large numbers supporting us on Sunday.
And it starts at 10 a.m. And how long would the tournament go on for?
It starts at 10 a.m. Presently, we're unable to say how long. Registration is still open, especially given the opportunity to mention badminton here in your program. We'll extend registration for another 2 days.
Okay.
Already it is well supported.
I was just about to ask how many teams you have in the mixed doubles and
it's well supported. I think I can't say how many teams, but I can say we do have entrants in the region of 40 or more.
Okay.
And we're hoping for more. And we've been contacted even by visitors who are on the island and saying, wow, badminton, we didn't realize badminton is going on here. Can we enter?
Right.
And so they're most welcome.
Awesomeness. Am I forgetting anything? Is there anything you'd like to get out there to the public that I may not have asked?
I think we covered it, but mainly I would just take the opportunity again to say it is a family-orientated event. It's out there in the country. Is it the country? It's far away from traffic.
It's very far away from all the traffic, right?
All the traffic.
And it's on a Sunday.
It's on a Sunday afternoon.
That side of the island is beautiful to visit.
Indeed. And the Clifton Hunter School,
it's amazing there.
It's amazing.
Are those lines complete at Clifton Hunter?
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
happy to say that.
That's why it's being held there. The tournament
exactly.
is being held there. Yes.
Exactly. So we're hoping, as we said, someone in authorities listening will address this problem of the missing lines in John Gray. And, we could press forward with having badminton on the map, so to speak.
Awesome. Looking forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Thanks again for having me.
Yours truly will be the MC of the day. Yeah, that's right.
And we're grateful for you.
And I'm honored that you guys thought of me. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right, so that concludes our second segment, I should say. Coming up next, we have Mrs. Wanda Bodden. She's the founder of the Bringing Back the Glory Youth Basketball Tournament in Port Arthur, Texas, and you're going to hear about her connections and why she's here. All right, so stay tuned. We'll be back with more Sports Extra in a minute.
System 1 loaded. For the record, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 9:30, we interview the various government ministers, opposition, and Cayman Island legislators. For the record is brought to you by West Bay Pharmacy at Centennial Towers. Visit us today for fast, efficient, and professional service. Everything you need and the hours you need it at West Bay Pharmacy.
We are now in the hurricane season, and to survive a hurricane, you need to be informed. If you have been informed by official sources that a hurricane is approaching the Cayman Islands, and you live in a low-lying area that is prone to flooding or near the beaches, which may be swept by high tides or storm waves, please seek a safe place and high ground. If the only way for you to get to a safe place is a road that is also likely to be flooded during a storm, please leave home early. Don't run the risk of being stranded. This has been a public service announcement from your community station, Radio Cayman.
Okay, man.
The voice of the Cayman Islands, Radio Cayman.
Shining down from above.
We love our listeners.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Registration is now open for the 7th annual Meals on Wheels 5K Turkey Trot fundraising run walk. Come trot with us on Saturday, November 26th at Grand Ole House, South Church Street. There are great raffle prizes to be won, finisher medals, trophies, and complimentary continental breakfast to enjoy. Support Meals on Wheels in the fight to end senior hunger in the Cayman Islands. Register today online at www.mealsonwheels.ky or call 769-1974 for details on volunteering for this event. See you at the start line. First, there was little. Then there was grand. But just maybe, the best was saved for last. Cayman Brac, the Pirates are coming! Friday, November 25th through the 27th. Friday, Heritage Day and Gimme Story at Spot Bay Community Cove starting at 10 a.m. and kickoff party at 9 p.m. at Coraline Club. Saturday continues with a family fun day at Scott's Dock, followed by the boat float parade starting at Buccaneers. Cut to the dock with fireworks show and after party at Tiger Bay Cafe. Sunday finishes with the Pirates Farewell Lunch at the Alexander Hotel. They came, they partied, they conquered. Pirates Fest Cayman Brac, November 25th through the 27th.
The Department of Agriculture, in collaboration with Hazard Management, Cayman Islands, invites the public to attend a seminar series on pet and large animal disaster and emergency preparedness. 2 seminars are available. The Pet Emergency Preparedness Seminar on Tuesday, the 22nd of November, from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Red Cross Shelter on Huldah Avenue, Georgetown, and the Large Animal Emergency Preparedness Seminar on Wednesday, 23rd of November at 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Seafarers Hall, Victory Avenue, Prospect. To register, visit DOA's and HMCI's Facebook and Instagram pages at Agriculture Cayman and at Cayman Prepared.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
All right, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra, and we have Mrs. Wanda Bodden in the studio with us. Hello, hello, dear.
Hello from Texas, and hello, Cayman.
All right, and Wanda is the founder of Bringing Back the Glory Youth Basketball in Port Arthur, Texas. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
The pleasure's mine.
Yeah. Also, we held the Bringing Back the Glory basketball tournament in 2019 here in the Cayman Islands for the first time.
Correct.
Right? But before we get into that, I would love for you to share with us, how this all got started and how did you get connected to basketball?
Well, I had sons. I'm the mother of 3 sons.
Okay.
And they were all connected to sports. My 2 oldest were very heavy into basketball.
Okay.
My oldest played at what we call legendary Lincoln High School Bumblebee basketball.
Nice.
And so over there, it's almost like breathing.
Right.
In Texas, football is king, but basketball is coming along.
Right.
And so what happened was everything had kind of started slowing down because the schools had got split.
Okay.
And so when that happened, some of the passion and the fire had left. And so God gave me a vision of bringing back the glory that we saw in those days when my kids played basketball.
Awesome.
We're looking at a different type of youth because now people are more scattered. They're kind of not outside so much anymore, where my kids went from gym to gym during the summer.
Right.
And playing a whole bunch of outdoor sports. Kids played all sports.
Right.
Basketball, football, baseball. They did it
Everything.
all.
Everything, yeah.
And so now we see a time where I'm not saying it's wrong, but AAU is taking over the club sports,
right?
And they're very expensive. You know, it might cost $1,800 US, $2,000 US for a kid to play just in the summer.
Wow!
Plus traveling fees.
Yeah.
You know, that's on them. And so I want to bring back where the kids that couldn't really afford, or the parents that really couldn't afford to pay those kind of fees, to be able to play in the gyms again. And so. Because I have connections here in Cayman Islands, I used to do retreats, you know, to getaways. And my husband has family here that's from Bartontown.
Okay.
And if you're out there listening, I'm sorry I didn't make it around to get some of that curry goat. I'll be back in July. God just birthed in me that, you know what, kids are kids. And they're the same everywhere.
Right.
Teenagers the same everywhere. The accent may be different, but they kind of enjoy the same things.
Right.
And so when I came over here, I saw there was a gap where the kids here wasn't doing so much basketball. They were heavy into soccer, which we call
football.
Yeah, yeah. And he told me to just start connecting and trying to see if I can get a tournament here.
Okay.
Thank God, I met somebody, Donna Dandy. She had a REACH program. The year that we tried to do it, it didn't happen.
Okay.
And then along came your husband.
Okay.
And I pitched the idea to him.
This is when he was the director of sports.
He was the director of sports then. Mm-hmm. And I pitched the idea to him, and he said, let's see if we can make it happen. I thank God for him because he saw the vision, even when a lot of people didn't.
Okay.
It was a blessing to the youth here and a blessing to the kids from Texas.
Awesome.
And so from there on, we made friends and talked plenty trash. We brought the smoke, baby.
She brought the smoke.
Baby, we bring the smoke when we come. And I told him if we lose, we're going to bring some more smoke the next time for the revenge match. It ain't over.
And it was such an amazing time, wasn't it?
Oh, I loved it.
It was actually the first time, sadly, but also a wonderful experience that our athletes 19 years and under were able to perform in front of the Cayman Islands for the first time.
And I didn't know that. I had no idea.
We've never did it because a lot of the kids have been off to school or just not ready.
Well,
as what we deemed not ready,
right.
Until we saw them compete, and they were magnificent.
They gave us a fit, and we was loving every minute of it.
I know.
And the kids, and let me tell you something, it's so crazy because the kids connected on a kid's level.
Yes.
Even when one team would lose, and we usually do the matchups to take pictures.
Right.
They would just like, no, let's all take a picture together. Because they bonded and they made friends. They exchanged phone numbers. You'd be surprised. I had kids that traveled from Texas to the Cayman Islands. They had never been out the state of Texas.
Right.
First time owning a passport.
Right.
And not only that, but it was an experience that they'll never, ever, ever forget. I have a couple of kids that are playing college ball. You met Junior.
Yeah, I did. I did.
When you came on one of your visits.
I did meet Junior, and I'm very proud to say that when my husband and my father and I visited Texas to check out your program,
right.
We met Junior. We saw Junior on the court, and Junior, how tall is he? 6'5"?
He's he's grown since then.
He's grown since then?
Yeah,
Junior's probably about 6'7". And he slimmed down.
Because he was a big,
about 300 pounds.
Yeah, and he was not very stable in the mind.
And he loves and he would run down the court and he'd stop and talk to us in the crowd.
And talking to he was entertaining to the crowd. He would, dude, play the game. But you know what? Guess what, guys? Junior is in the NBA.
Yes.
Yes, he's playing for the Grizzlies.
You know what? It's so crazy. And we're sister cities.
Yes.
And so we're trying to revive that also. But Port Arthur has a lot of talents. We have a lot of kids that play in the NBA and NFL.
And NFL, yes.
We have 9 golden footballs, and what the NFL does is every time someone from your city plays in the Super Bowl, they send a golden football.
Right.
And we have 9.
9 golden footballs.
9 golden footballs.
Awesome.
We have a baseball. I'm like just about every sport we have played on the national level.
Awesome.
Just about every sport, except swimming.
Oh, we'll get there. I see you watching synchronized swimming a lot.
You
get there.
I probably needed it during Hurricane Harvey.
I'm very proud of Junior. And his full name is
Kenneth Lofton
Kenneth
Jr.
Lofton Jr. And I know he's playing in the is it the G League?
Yeah, he plays with the
originally?
Hustles. I think it's the Hustlers with the G League.
Okay.
Like I said, also with the Grizzlies.
But he recently did an exchange where he played 2 or 3 games
Right.
with the Grizzlies.
Right.
And even the star player
Ja
for the
Morant.
Grizzlies, Ja Morant, spoke so highly of him being a beast in the center.
Oh, he is.
And I remember that he is. He is. And he dominated at the World Games when he represented the
really
United
did.
States as well.
Yeah.
I'm very proud to say that, we played, we connected, and we played against, our youth played against Kenneth Lofton.
And you
It's
have
great.
pictures with him, and I think they signed
Yes.
a ball for Coach Vooch, so
Yes.
he should have Junior's signature on his ball we gave
Exactly.
him.
Awesome. What were your views, Wanda, when you visited Cayman and saw the talent that we had to offer?
I love the people of Cayman, period.
Yes.
I really, really do. I think that the kids are working really hard. I think once you visited, you and your dad and Colin, you said, we got to come back and prepare. And when I came back this time, I see that you did the work, that they're actually putting the work in. I see Coach Corey doing the Breakfast Club and helping with the developmental
And about
skills of them.
16 kids from the Breakfast Club are off to school. Yes.
I'm telling you, I could see it. In this, you can pinpoint, where you were and the progress that's been made. I love it. I think that they're getting more interested in it because I think when we came, it was like a little push.
In 2019, yes.
Yes, it was. It was a little push, and then came COVID.
Right.
And
And it was
so
supposed to be an exchange.
we was
We
doing
were
an
supposed to go to
exchange.
Port Arthur in 2020, and then there came COVID.
And there came COVID. But, we're getting ready to relaunch. I'm eager. The people in Port Arthur are eager.
Okay.
We had a couple of teams that came down. I had a tournament in July, and not only from the Cayman Islands, but it's getting word is getting out. So we had a team from the Bahamas that come.
Awesome.
Yeah, I connected with Miss Oreo Wood.
Okay.
Knowles over there, and she made it happen in such a short period. But
I like that you're not just leaving it in Port Arthur. You're sharing the love. You're spreading the love all over the Caribbean, right? It's not just the U.S. And this is, like you say, a way to get the kids out of the U.S. because some of them have never left the U.S. before. So it's also nice to know that, next you guys will be going to Bahamas.
Right.
And that's probably where Cayman will be going as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah. We'd love to join you guys there for another tournament.
They can get all the smoke.
All the smoke, right?
It could be the Bahamas, Puerto Rico.
Did we get any smoke at all in July?
Yes, y'all
did. We did. Okay.
Y'all got some smoke, baby. Some Texas barbecue.
Awesome.
Well, we still love y'all.
But you're here for another reason. You're this time around. You're here for.
I'm here. They say I'm here for the classics, but I'm here for the LSU Tigers, baby. Growl.
And you know what? I enjoyed that game today. I went to see it today. It was at 1:30 today. LSU played Akron, and LSU is still undefeated, and they're heading to the finals tomorrow. So that's awesome. It's going to be a great game. Right now, currently, Kansas State is playing Nevada. So when we finish the show, we're heading down to the John Gray
to the
Gym.
games.
We're heading down to the John. We have our passes. You have your passes. I got my
baby,
passes.
right? Oh, it's out in the
my
hallway.
VIP and my media passes, and I'm ready to go. I'm
and they
ready to
think as
shine.
well, baby. They want to know what Miss Biden wants to eat every day, and it's about the same thing. So somebody could probably poison me, but I'm with the oxtails.
What did you think of the LSU match today? You went down there to
Baby,
take your magic.
You see, somebody,
took them your magic.
Somebody
They were struggling.
challenged me and said, maybe it'll be an upset. I said, not. And I walked over to that side. And I just like, okay, Jesus, help these Tigers because they got to get some act right and get this together.
Yeah.
But you know what was so crazy? It was like the second half was a whole different team.
Yes.
I mean, both teams were totally different. I don't know if Akron ran out of gas.
I think they did. It looked like they did.
It really looked that way, but
I was very surprised that they ran out of gas. I thought they would take it.
Because they're a very physical team.
Very physical team.
But I think the LSU team had to slow it down.
Yeah.
Play a lot of defense.
That threw them off because if you read it was just
running and gunning.
And so when you
and
slowed the game
down,
it threw
and went to work.
It threw Akron off because
Yeah.
they're a fast-paced team and they're not used to slowing the game down.
Right.
So,
And I wish I knew some of the guys' names because one of the, you know what, it was so great and wonderful, I think, with y'all. they have some NBA scouts here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 8 of them.
Yeah, and so it was 8 of them. And so they were sitting at this table. So this scout asked me, he says, which one is your kid? I said, I don't have any skin in the game. I'm just ready for the Tigers to win. I wish I'd have knew somebody's name. I would have thrown that name out there.
I know, right? You could have thrown a number.
That's what it's like. But anyway, it was a nail biter.
Yes.
A nail biter. I mean, it could have gone anyway, but that's when you have that level of competition, it can.
Yes.
And we've seen, even when kids go to the big dance, there's sometimes, we sleep on some of these teams and they end up winning everything.
Yeah, because I thought it was looking like it was going to be an upset. But LSU experience prevailed.
It did.
It really did. So, and we're going to head back and see what's happening with Kansas State and Nevada, because that's another good team.
Yeah.
2 good teams, actually. 2 good competition. So I'm really glad you came to
I'm
to see the tournament.
for the invitation. I tell you, it was a good break for me.
Right.
And it's good inspiration for when I go back, what I want to see in my tournament the next time, I host one. I'll be hosting one in June. And so maybe the school president is listening, and maybe he'll release the kids and they can take their exams early and still come and play. If not, y'all will see me down here in July.
Okay, sounds good, because we would love to have a showcase our athletes once again.
Exactly.
Yeah. And most of them are off to school, right? So when they come back, they'll fresh skills waiting for you.
And then maybe sometimes we might even do something like...
Give you some smoke.
Baby, we love it, okay? What they say, well, I can say it here because you can't say it in Texas, but there ain't no safety on this Glock.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, Wanda, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Is there anything else that you would like to...
I just want to say, Mama, I made it. I want to say hello to all my kids and grandkids back in Texas. I'll be home to cook Thanksgiving dinner.
All right, sounds good. Look to the left and say hello to the camera.
Hello.
Awesomeness. Hi. All right, well, that'll do it for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. Sports Extra is about giving you the latest information of sporting activities here in the Cayman Islands. If you would like the opportunity to be a part of our show, please feel free to email me at sportsextracayman@gmail.com. Also, you can check out our Sports Extra Facebook page to keep abreast of all activities here on island, all sporting activities, or you can check out Radio Cayman's YouTube channel for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dionne Anglin. Wanda Bodden, thank you so much for stopping by. Cindy, Joe, and Dale Davis, and Mr. Don Kalu, thank you all so much for stopping by. And to you, the Cayman Islands public, thank you so much. Mr. Producer, thank you so much for your guidance. Thank you. Good night. God bless.
And they're higher spirit that they could do well.
It was really infectious. I mean, for a 4-day meet with 2 sessions each day, that's pretty exhausting. And these kids were just rocking for the whole weekend. So